have to make sure that it's good, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, you've been doing your show, so yeah, so, well, thank you for having me again.
Thank you, Anna, for the opportunity to interview you. What's the difference between Wish and What's Your Story, huh?
Wish and What's Your Story Slam.
Wish and What's Your Story Slam.
But you got it right, though, because Wish does stand for What's Your Story, huh? So the difference is Wish is the holding company, so that's the overall company where everything happens. So that's where that is basically the one that pays the taxes here in Singapore. We do coaching, training, producing shows, all under Wish. What's Your Story Slam is the one that most people see and hear. That's the storytelling show that we have every 2 months here in Singapore. We've been doing it for the past 4 years.
Wow. Recently I was exposed to your LinkedIn profile and I saw this story. I think that is amazing. I look forward to attending one of the events.
Oh yes, our next show is on September 12th, and then after that is on November 28th.
Sure, I'll take note of that. Yeah, so Anna, can you share with us, right, what's your challenges do you face as an entrepreneur?
I think for me, primarily, the challenge as an entrepreneur was to start a business that was totally unrelated to my field of work, and also starting a concept that most people don't know about. When we talk about storytelling, a lot of people are thinking it's more about branding, it's more about sales and marketing or public relations, but the kind of stories I want to focus on is more about authentic leadership and personal narratives. So as leaders, we need to be able to find our stories of successes and failures and challenges in order to engage, inspire, and build trust with either our colleagues, our staff, our peers, or the community.
Right, yeah. So is there like 3 simple ways that anybody can pick up and they can immediately share their story when they are doing a presentation or with people?
Yes, so first is to put a location and action. That I think is one of the things, the simplest way that you can do to start a story. You know, like, where is it? Like, even like fairy tales, right? Once upon a time in a faraway land, there is a location. There is already a setting. There are birds singing, so there's some action, there's something happening. That's one way you can bring story to life. The second is, I think, to bring the story as close to the action as possible, which means getting close to your main point. And then the third one is to be able to answer the who, what, when, where, why, the fundamentals of storytelling.
I understand that you were previously in a corporate role position. What actually inspired you to transit over to start this business?
It was definitely not my corporate job, because my corporate job was, I was in banking, I was in sales on the trading floor, so absolutely nothing to do with storytelling. It was actually when I took a couple of years off. I quit my banking job and just explored, traveled around the world, lived in South America for a while, and then moved to the United States, and that's where I got into comedy. It was more like a journey of exploration, finding some interest. I got into improv, which led me to storytelling, because I think there was one improv show where I had to tell a personal story, and I felt that was like, it was my calling. This is what I was meant to do. I was meant to tell stories.
So you didn't discover this strength when you were in the corporate role. You discovered it after the corporate role.
I definitely did not discover it during corporate, because I even hated making presentations. I hated standing in front and presenting. Now I do it full time. But so definitely it was not a discovery whatsoever. It was, I would say, I would call it a happy accident. Though, as a kid, I used to write stories.
Right. So from being hating or don't like to do presentations to telling your stories, that is actually quite a very big change. What gives you that inspiration and motivation? What gives you the courage to stand out? Yeah.
I think there is a magic when you're going up on stage and sharing a personal moment in your life when you feel seen and heard. And storytelling, especially in storytelling shows, is such a supportive community. Like, everybody there is just rooting for you, and there is no magic quite like it. And that gives me this courage to do this thing every day.
Right. Yeah. So when you kickstart on this journey, right?
Yeah.
Was there any challenges that you face?
As an entrepreneur or as a storyteller?
That's a very good question. Well, let's start with as an entrepreneur.
So when I decided to build my business around storytelling, it wasn't about the show. It wasn't to start the show. It was more like I wanted to help people, empower people to be better storytellers. But nobody could understand what I was trying to do. In fact, there's a lot of misconception. They thought I wanted to become an actress because, so you want to do theater, you want to be an actress, you want to dress up as a fairy and do children's parties or work for Universal Studios as a princess. And I said, no, I wanted people to tell personal stories. So until I did What's Your Story Slam, which is a different story in how it started, nobody could understand why. So the moment people started seeing the show, that's when they saw, oh, I didn't think we can tell stories that way. And that's what sparked and kickstarted my business.
Do you see any parts of your corporate career skill set that you bring over to your entrepreneurship role?
Yes, I think it's my organizational skills. Because part of my job was also to not just organize meetings, but also organize offsites. And I always enjoyed doing these little events better because, there's a lot more creativity involved. You have to design it, you have to plan it, you have to decide on who's speaking and how to make the flow, and how to also entertain leaders. So I found that skill set very useful in terms of organizing my show and also even facilitating workshops. It's the same skill set, organizing and designing.
Now that you have kickstart your own business and then you have this storytelling show that is ongoing, if you were to go back to your corporate role, do you see that this is an added advantage for you to do presentations?
Well, I think I would say if I were going back to my corporate role, I would be able to present with humor, and a lot of the senior leaders would probably want me to be doing a lot of presenting because it's more like a show for them. I think it would be essential. It's very essential to be able to simplify concept structures into something that's bite-sized and easier to understand. I think there is a benefit about being able to structure your message to get your point across, or to also just understand what the important things are and what's irrelevant.
Right, yeah. So right now, there's a lot of millennials and the university students out there. Yeah. So is there any 3 advices that you could give to them, for them that is starting out in the career?
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I would say would probably do the first one, because I think a lot of times we're always paralyzed by fear of making mistakes. I see each mistake as an opportunity to learn. So whenever I actually run workshops or even people working with me, there are no mistakes, only opportunities. That's the first thing. Second is stay curious. I think sometimes the creativity is lost when we stop becoming curious, when you stop wanting to know more. Stay curious, explore. And then the third one would be, done is better than perfect. That's my new mantra right now. So oftentimes, especially when we're organizing, and I know I'm very, this is very much me, I want things done perfectly. But I've learned, sometimes you just want to get it done so you see what it looks like and know how to make it better. So done is better than perfect.
Right. Yeah. So if you have one superpower in your business, what do you think you would like it to be?
I would like to be able to control time.
Controlling time?
Yes, I would like to be able to control time.
Could you elaborate more on that?
I would like to be able to slow things down or move things forward in terms of time. Also because when people are late, when you stop time, you can drag them to get them so that they'll be there on time.
Okay, Anna, thank you for having me this afternoon.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.